and welcome to the Women Changing the World podcast. I'm your host, Olivia D'Souza. In this episode, I am talking with Kristy Fairbairn. Welcome!
Oh, thanks, Livy. I'm so excited to be here today.
So great to see you. All right, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Kristy?
I have owned my business for a little over 4 years now, and I've got two beautiful children who are 9 and 12. So juggling young-ish children and a business has been character building, shall we say. But I'm really grateful for the age that they are now and that I get to really enjoy this business that I'm creating for them, particularly as my eldest is my daughter, and really showing her how strong women can be. So that's a real privilege for me. I was born in Melbourne, but grew up in Tasmania for pretty much my whole life. And yeah, I'm lucky enough to have been loved by two mothers, one who created me and one who helped me grow.
Wow, can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so the one that created me was very young when she had me. I think she was 19 and just turned 20 a couple of days before giving birth to me. And she had some things going on in her life that made things challenging. She had some addiction issues and mental health issues, and felt that to give me the best opportunity and for her to get well, that if others could help raise me for a while, that would be good. So her brother and sister-in-law and their family took me in, and unfortunately my mum wasn't able to recover. So I stayed permanently with my new parents, and yeah, just was offered a great opportunity with siblings and a big family around me, and staying within my birth family connection just a little bit differently. So yeah.
So that was from when you were very beginning as a baby.
Yeah. So just before my first birthday, I moved to
Oh
Tasmania.
wow!
Yeah, and grew up with a near twin. So I was born on the 18th and my sister was on the 17th. So the family that I joined gave me a little twin to play with, basically. So yeah, it's thrown a lot of challenges up for me throughout my life, and a lot of issues. There's no nice way of putting it. But whilst I was very lucky, there were certainly challenges in coming from that starting point. But I now see them as opportunities to, create an impact in this world that we live in. And I'm really grateful for the strength that it must have taken for my birth mother, and also the strength for the mother that raised me to take me in. I think that's a pretty big call.
Wow. So you were always openly told the truth about the situation?
Yep. Yeah, always aware of everything, which sometimes I feel like was a lot to carry. But in that circumstance, I don't know what else you would do by keeping things. I don't think that really does justice to anyone. And I guess it's interesting. One of my strongest core values that shows up in personal and business is transparency and openness. And I'm really grateful for having lived that my whole life.
Okay, so do you still have a relationship with your birth mother?
No, unfortunately, she died from mental illness when I was 2.5.
Wow.
So, yeah, but still obviously within that family. So I've had a great relationship with my aunt, with her sister and her brother. Yeah, so, I still get to feel her presence around me.
And what is the story that you share? Is that what you share in the book? Tell me what the story is that
Yeah.
you share.
Yeah, so that is sort of the beginning of the story that I tell. I talk about the women that changed my world and the impact that they've had on my life, and how even though I have lost some amazing women in my life, they still guide me to this day, and I'm very grateful for the contribution they've had to my life. And legacy is something really important to me, that I hope to help change the world for someone else, and to share a story of someone who comes from, a family of addiction, from a background of being adopted. If I can just inspire one little girl that she has opportunities ahead of her, then that will be a real privilege.
Wow. So this book, I should mention, because I didn't say it in the beginning, this is a book that you are contributing to. There's over 30 contributors to the Women Changing the World book, so you've written a chapter for it.
Yeah.
And it's full of remarkable stories. So what do you do now? How is this? Has this been an impetus to what you do now in the world?
Yeah, so a few years ago, maybe 6 years ago, after my mum who raised me passed away, I needed a challenge and I needed to work. So I was lucky enough to get a position as a bookkeeper for a local business here and work from home so I could still be around my children, but be doing something independent and also bringing in some money to our family. And then the business owner decided to sell the business, and I didn't want to work for anyone else. So I was fortunate enough to be able to buy the business from her. And so I've now owned the Business Oasis for a little over 4 years, and we've grown it drastically in that time. We now have a team of 7 amazing women that work with me and support our clients. And more recently, in the last 12 months, I've been able to start working in a coaching and mentoring space. So initially mentoring other people in the bookkeeping and accounting industry, and now moving more into working with small business owners on a broader level. So that's sort of where I am at today, and really excited to be taking on this new adventure.
That is exciting. So I'm sorry about your mum, the woman who raised you, to hear that she passed away a few years ago. That must have been challenging. What does it mean to be? I notice as I'm speaking with you, we say your birth mother, or the woman that raised you as your mum. What does it mean to be a mother? Seeing that you have a mum who wasn't biologically your mum, but she's been the one there. What does being a mum mean to you?
I think providing that nurture and safety and always somewhere to turn to when you need it, and bringing out the natural personality of children while also guiding them to strive for more, to better themselves and to be the best they can be.
You said that it wasn't always easy to be raised in that way. Can you tell me what the challenges have been for you?
Yeah, so I think unfortunately, a lot of us women, in fact, a lot of us people have a sense of not feeling enough, not being good enough. And, I think my beginnings probably accelerated that, perhaps highlighted it, made it a bigger thing for me of wondering if I was enough. Could I have been more to have changed things? But I know now through some amazing therapy and work with some beautiful coaches, whether it be on a spiritual level or on just a personal growth level, that all of those circumstances weren't about me, and I am me and I am more than enough. And that was a really powerful thing to connect to over the last couple of years, to really start to sort of set myself free of those challenges from the beginning of, feeling different, but not in a good way. I think we need to celebrate where we come from and celebrate our differences and really lean into being different and not the same. And I think that, growing up, sometimes that can be tricky. We want to sort of fit in. We want to go with the flow. We want to, hang out with the cool kids. But why can't we be the one that sets that tone and sets that standard?
It's a hard lesson to learn as a child. Did you blame yourself for your mum not coming back?
Not entirely. No, I think it was just more of, I wish that I was enough reason for her to get well. But, addiction is its own battle, and mental health is its own battle. And, she's at peace now, and I just have to live my best life for me.
What feelings do you get now when you're making a difference and you're going forward in your life and you're helping others? How does that make you feel?
It lights me up. It really does. I love being able to help empower others, help make a difference, and help them realise just how special they are as themselves and how they are enough for themselves and not having to try and meet others' expectations, and also allow people to have their own feelings and views but not take it on. We don't always need to absorb the energy given out by others.
So, what are some of the ways that you're doing that now? Is that through your mentoring?
Yeah, so doing a bit of mentoring with people within my primary industry, but also in coaching. So I'm becoming an accredited pro coach with the Coaching Institute, and that's a real stretch, but a real privilege and joy as well. And I'm also working with Tim Hoopman, who is a speaker for Beyond Blue. He and I are putting together some group coaching programs and working with small business owners. And I think that it's really important with all that we've faced over the last 20, 22 months. It's been a challenge, but through it have also come some great opportunities, and helping people realise that and lean into that more so than what we've lost over the last 20 months of the things that we've had taken from us, which I guess my background, my upbringing and experiences can bring light to that feeling of, I could sit in that negative space a lot. I feel like, I've got a lot of stories there that I could just hold on to, be reasons for not doing more or reasons for feeling hard done by. But I leverage those to help me be grateful and appreciate the opportunities I have, and to relish them more and treasure them. So helping people overcome those challenges of the last 20, 22 months is, definitely something I'm excited and privileged to be doing.
How did you do that yourself? How did you come out of that negative space?
Um, it's been a ride. It's been a lot of coaching and therapy, and just letting things go sometimes and working it through, and having an awareness from the other person's perspective, and almost removing myself from it too, that people are entitled to have their process, and it doesn't have to be a reflection of me and my input within there. It is just what it is, and what can I control, what can I have impact on, and gaining clarity on my vision, my values, and having an understanding of the direction I'm going is what helps me stay the course.
And you said having an understanding of the other person. Is that the other person being the person who maybe has let you down?
Yeah, so I guess it could be circumstance and challenge. Can't really put a face on COVID, but it's certainly been a challenge and a negative for a lot of people. And, if we've been hurt by people or let down, or, they haven't necessarily responded and behaved in a way we would have liked, that's not our burden to carry. And that was a big one for me to realise, that, I don't need to carry that around for how others respond.
Are there any stories that you shared in the book that you'd like to share here?
I feel like we've touched on a few already. And I'd probably like to leave it at that.
Let people read it. Let people read.
Yeah, I really want people to dig into the chapter and connect, whether it resonates with them personally or they know someone who has faced some of the same challenges, or just to know that anything is possible. We're not limited in what we do.
That's wonderful. So is that basically, if you wanted to leave people with something today, what would your message be? That might be it, actually.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, it's, invest in yourself. Don't sell yourself short. You are worth investing your time, your money in personal and professional growth, and, not to fit a mainstream mold. Whether you work with an intuitive coach, it's a business coach, it's a personal trainer, whatever it is, grow your village. You don't have to do it on your own.
That's so important, I think, to have a
Yeah.
village.
Yeah, I think, often we grow up and, we have children of our own and we're told it takes a village to raise a family. Well, I think it takes a village to raise a business. And, I think it's really important to value that part of you.
I love that. That's a quotable quote. It takes a
Yeah.
village to to raise a business too. Um, is there anything that we haven't covered that you were wanting to share today?
No, I think we've covered it all. We went pretty deep, pretty fast.
All right then. Well, I do invite everyone to go and get the book, and it sounds like you'll get a lot out of it, and it'll be really inspiring. So thank you so much for sharing your story. How can people reach out to you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Kristy Fairbairn _coach, or the Business Oasis, and similar handles across on Facebook, as well as our website, businessoasis.com.au.
Okay, we'll make sure all the links are in the notes, as well as where to go to get the book as well. So thank you so much, Kristy.
Oh, thanks, Libby. It's been great catching up.